PRP treatment, is it a scam? Is PRP a placebo? Or is it actual science? There has been a recent article in Times of India stating that PRP is a scam and it's more of a placebo. Actually, this particular article in Times of India talks about PRP treatment in orthopedics, where PRP has been given for osteoarthritis with the claim that PRP helps to regenerate cartilage. But when it comes to the efficacy or the usefulness of PRP with regards to skin and hair treatment, there are enough scientific evidence that actually there is science behind it and it works. So let's look into the scientific background of PRP. And not just PRP, let's also look into what is the difference between a PRP, GFC, exosome and SVF. So when it comes to hair or skin treatment, you will hear these four words. One is PRP, the other one is GFC, which is growth factor concentrate. Then you hear the new word called exosomes, and you also hear what is called SVF. Right, so let's deep dive into the science behind each of this to understand. So you can watch this video because it will be done in a series. I will try and explain so that you understand the science behind each of these and the scientific evidence. So let's start with PRP. So is PRP scam or is it a powerhouse? PRP means platelet rich plasma, and the preparation of PRP or the efficacy of PRP depends on three factors. One of the main factor will be the preparatory method. The second factor is patient or the client dependent factors, and the third factor is the injection or the delivery method. All these three, unless they are standardized, obviously there is a possibility to consider that it could be just a scam or a placebo rather than giving actual result. So this is the truth behind that particular statement. As far as skin and hair is concerned, a scientific evidence for its efficacy, there are enough published articles in tissue repair as well as in regeneration. Now, what does this PRP means? It's platelet rich plasma. It's a powerhouse of growth factors, IGF-1, vascular endothelial growth factor, platelet derived growth factor, and many more. Now, these growth factors are actually stored in a cell called platelets in our blood. So we extract these platelets from our own blood and they are concentrated. So first factor which determines the efficacy or the result from PRP is the way the PRP is prepared. So there is a machine variability. There are machines varying from few thousands of rupees. A normal centrifuge can cost just 20,000 rupees, whereas a proper machine that is manufactured to prepare PRP. So there is also something called single spin, double spin, number of times that spin happens. We'll call it RPM, and for how long it is done. All these are the way the solution is prepared. And also there is studies, debates based on whether the PRP should be injected after activation or before activation. Now all of these decide the number of platelets in that eventual solution that is prepared, which is called the platelet rich plasma. So unless that platelet rich plasma that is injected onto your body, either skin, hair, contains minimum 3 to 5 times the baseline concentration of your platelet, it makes no sense to be doing the procedure and you may not get any results. So if you go to a center to do PRP, first they have to take your blood sample, do a complete blood count and check one, your hemoglobin, and second, your base platelet count. Because only when the base platelet count is above a certain value, when you try to concentrate them 3-5 times and depend how much you can concentrate, this result will vary. The next important factor is patient-based factor. So if you had recently had viral illness which can reduce the platelet count, obviously the amount of platelet that is going to be concentrated in this solution is going to be very low. And it's not just that. The mechanism of preparation also depends on your baseline hemoglobin, because the platelets are adherent when they are undergo spin. They get adherent to RBCs, and of course there will be some amount of inflammatory mediators also, that is WBCs also, which can come with it. So your hemoglobin count, it also decides amount of platelets that's going to be concentrated in the eventual solution, because most of the standard machines, their settings are based on belief that your hemoglobin is normal, which is that for a female it is about 12 and for men it is 14. So normally at least taking a baseline of 12 hemoglobin is how this entire RPM everything is prepared. Now suppose your hemoglobin is only 9 or 10, when you do PRP you may not get any result, because the eventual solution that is prepared may not have the actual concentration of platelets that we require. In addition to this, if the patient is of younger age, the results of PRP is supposed to be better, because the concentration of growth factors also higher in younger individuals. Also, the fact if you have other comorbid conditions, either in the scalp as such or in the system, if there are degenerative disease that can come with elderly, musculoskeletal disease, somebody has any of this, this can also contribute to the poor results in PRP. The last factor is how it is injected. The depth at which the PRP is injected and the frequency with which it is injected, the volume of PRP that is injected. So you ideally when you get a PRP between 2 to 5 ml. So at what distance are we injecting, how much are we injecting in each of this will actually decide whether you are going to get the result with regards to PRP. So listen to all this, you will be able to decide whether PRP treatment when it comes to skin and hair, whether it's just a scam, it's a placebo, or is it actual science. Also, when we do PRP, when it comes to hair and skin, we just don't inject only PRP, we are also creating what is called a controlled damage. It could be done either with a laser or with a microneedle. Now, what is the result that we are expecting from PRP is regeneration and also collagen remodelation and better elastin production. And this will actually help in regeneration of lost hair follicles and as well as skin tightening and rejuvenation. So it is not done as a single procedure alone. We are doing a controlled injury with either microneedling or laser, and then we are adding these growth factor to repair those injuries, which could also be an additional reason rather than in orthopedics, where we see better results with PRP when it comes to skin and hair treatment. This is the same PRP that is injected into the facial skin, which is called the vampire facelift. So vampire facelift is nothing but an injection of PRP onto the skin for the same purpose. Now, we spoke about PRP. PRP is nothing but your native growth factor. It's a natural growth factor which is prepared from your own body. So when it is injected without activation in the natural environment, the natural enzymes and other inflammatory mediators, they activate them, and along with them they produce the results. So it takes some time before their results are seen. So ideally PRP should be injected at an interval of a month, and you should not be repeating that continuously, because it can cause what we call over induction of fibroblast and can result in scarring.